Hi everyone, it's Andrea with the Hippie Art Studio. Today I have another scrapbooking process video for you. This one I wanted to really document our bedtime routine, so I kind of took inspiration from one of our favorite books, Goodnight Moon. I'm showing you some of the supplies that I'll be using. I've got some Simple Stories Snap homespun cards, some Dear Lizzie 12 by 12 paper that I cut apart from Lucky Charm that had like Project Lifestyle cards on it. That Goodnight Moon card I created using the Project Life app, and then I printed it with Groovebook. And I'm just going to create a bunch of layers using that paper and those Dear Lizzie cards. So these photos are of our bedtime routine. So we've got a picture of her in the bath playing with her toys, and then also snuggled up in her crib with her pillow, her special blanket, and then her favorite stuffed animals that she likes to sleep with. And I'm just going to start to tape these down so that I know how I want them to be kind of layered. And this is a great way to use some of those Project Life cards that you have laying around in your stash. I decided to ink the edges of everything with this Distress Stain peacock feathers. So it's got a very blue, tealy blue kind of color scheme going on that navy background. And I do apologize for the lighting. I am really trying to get this stash kit killed, so I had to record at night, and my lighting during the evenings is not the best. So I do apologize, and I'm working on fixing that. So I'm just going through and inking all the edges. That blue, like, graph paper, grid paper kind of thing is from Basic Gray Cottage? Paper Cottage, yes. And so I decided on the placement of my photos and the papers there. I used that Basic Gray paper to kind of do a vertical stripe all the way down. So I'm just inking that bottom piece there. Trying to match it up so that it looks like it's all one piece instead of a scrap. And then I'm going to tape down the whole cluster now that I've got it all figured out where it's going to go. And then I'm going to start embellishing, and I apologize for my head getting in the way there. Now this layout took me quite a while to do. It is one of my more embellished pages. It took me 55 minutes to make. This is another one of those Dear Lizzie journaling style cards, Project Lifestyle cards, and this is where I'm going to put my journaling that actually talks about what our current bedtime routine is. Because with my daughter, as soon as I think I have her routine figured out, she always likes to switch it up on me, and then it doesn't work until I tweak it. I'm using an old slide frame here to really focus in on her asleep in her bed. And I decide to use some of that Distress Stain on it to bring in that blue. So it's just barely blue. It worked out pretty good. And I just attached that with some tape right over where she is sleeping. I used the branding strip from that Lucky Charm paper as well along the bottom as a border. It just said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this is kind of our everyday life, so it works out perfect for this page. And I'm just going through and inking the edges of that as well. And then I'm going to start doing a little bit of embellishing. I trim off that edge and ink that back up where it was overhanging my 8.5 by 11 page. I try and use that strip that I cut off somewhere but decide against it. I just try to use that little post-it note that I used to test if the color was going to match and decide against it. And then I'm going through one of my washi tape cards that I included in this kit. And I'm going to use a piece right in between the photos that is a blue floral to try and break up. It had a little bit of funky space there between the photos. And that just helps to connect the photos as one grouping. And I used a little bit down at the bottom on that border strip. And then it curls up on me and I have to fight with it. And I put just a tiny bit above that title card. And layer some more on top of that other blue. I decided against it on that title card because I just like the white space on the title card. I used that little scrap from the Creative Imaginations sticker sheet that I had used on a previous layout. And then there was also a border strip of words, so I decided to cut some of those words apart and I just scatter them throughout the layout. It's got like gray and blue and like a green. And then I fiddle with that washi tape and flip it over so that the longer side is on the bottom, touching that border strip. And that's where I added the green one that says Everyday Life. And really my goal here is to use everything that is blue on the sticker sheet, blue and gray, so that I can get the sticker sheet used up. I take that little tab that says Good Times and tuck it underneath the photo of her in the bath. And I moved that other word strip to the left side of the slide frame so that it didn't detract away from her being in bed. And I'm really just creating little clusters around my photos using those words. There were a lot of words on this sticker sheet. That Dear Lizzie card says noted on it, so I used one of the arrows to point to that part of the journaling card, as well as a green one that points to that Goodnight moon. I'm going to further embellish on that title using those Amy Tangerine stickers to put our bedtime routine. Which takes me just a little bit to do. And I'm just lining it up on the line of that pre-printed journaling card. It kind of makes a little shelf for the title to sit on. So pretty much our bedtime routine back in February involved bath, some cartoons, reading some books, and then cuddling up in her bed by about 7 or 8. 8 at the very latest. And then this is some authentic letter stickers that I'm going to use to finish out the word routine, just to add a different kind of font to the mix. And I believe it's from Lively. So I'm just going through some of the rest of my embellishments. I decided to take all that teal washi tape off because it was just throwing off the colors a little bit. I put down this green phrase sticker right underneath the title that says, I'm not sure what it says. It doesn't end up making it to the final page. I pulled out some of these jelly bean soup hexies, which I love, and I put that in that cluster at the bottom to pull some of that gray down there. And I add a blue one at the top by the title. Now I'm just going through and trying to pull all the colors to the appropriate spots that I have these clusters going on at. So I've got my 3 points of color throughout the layout. And I move on to some enamel dots. These enamel dots I got at Walmart for, I think, like $1 maybe. I think they're by KI. So I'm just pulling the blue ones, and then I decide to do the navy ones as well. And I'm just scattering them throughout the layout on the clusters that I've already created so that they help draw your eye throughout the page. I'm just going through the rest of my supplies to see if there's anything else I want to add for embellishments to this page. That's a Simple Stories family sticker pack. And I'm debating on using some of those blue letters. So I decided to put the date down there. And I just ended up putting February. And I pulled off a little floral embellishment off of that as well. And added it to that bottom cluster. I debated on putting this little tab at the top by my title. Then I add another little phrase sticker up there by the title. And I'm pulling out that jelly bean soup with the phrases. And at this point I've gone like word happy. There are phrases all over this thing. So I add one over that arrow at the bottom where my journaling will go. And these are in the navy that's on that jelly bean soup sticker sheet. added one at the top there of that bath time photo. And now I'm just going through the little... Oh, I added one down with that hexie that says date. Just glancing at this Authentique Celebrate sticker sheet, and I add that joy underneath the photo. And I tucked that star, that circle star under there, and so I scattered some more of those circles that have the stars in them throughout my clusters. I debate on that little journaling piece. And I moved another one of those stars up. And I pretty much decide that it looks done. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Check back again soon for some more process videos. Here's some close-ups of the layout. Bye!